Are you looking for a sweet treat with a little bit of nostalgia attached to it? I think my peanut butter and jam bars are going to fit the bill perfectly, and they're coming up next. Hello and welcome to my kitchen. My name is Roy. I'm a home cook and amateur baker, and I'm here sharing recipes that have helped me on my weight loss journey to lose over 125 pounds, whether these recipes are mine or someone else's. Now today's is going to be one of mine. It's a childhood classic turned into a bar. They're peanut butter and jam bars. Now you can use any flavor jam that you like. Today I happen to be using strawberry, sugar-free strawberry, but you can use any flavor that you like. And I apologize, my jaw has been very tight today, so I'll try to speak as clearly as I can, but I have been having a few issues with my jaw today. So this recipe makes 12 servings, and each serving is going to be 3 bites or 3 blue points. It may be different for the other colors. Purple, I believe it is, that lets you use oatmeal for 0 bites, so that may be even fewer bites on purple. So let me go over the ingredients that I have today. I have a half a cup of light butter. I can't believe it's not butter light. You may need to put this into your recipe builder if you're using a different one, because their points or bites may be different. So it's a half cup of the light butter, 2/3 of a cup of sugar replacement. If you know this channel by now, you know I'm using Swerve. And 2/3 cup also of brown sugar replacement, also Swerve. A half a teaspoon of salt. I have a half a cup of powdered peanut butter. I'm using PB Fit. You can use PB2 or any other powdered peanut butter that you want. And if you just wanted jam bars, you would replace this half cup of powdered peanut butter with a half cup of flour. I am using 1 cup of all-purpose flour plus the half cup of powdered peanut butter. But you could simply replace that and make it 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. I also have 1 cup of old-fashioned oats and 1 cup of sugar-free strawberry jam. Like I said, you can use any jam that you want. There's blueberry, which is very good in here. There's grape, obviously, and I just chose to use the strawberry because that's what I had on hand. You'll need some cooking spray. You don't have to use baking spray like I'm using, but some form of cooking spray, whatever it is. I'm going to move all of this stuff out of the way, and I will be right back. I have a 13x9 baking dish here, and I'm just going to spray it with some of this baking spray so that we don't have everything sticking, especially jam, which can sometimes really stick when it has had a chance to melt and then re-solidify. So let me get this out of my way and we will start with the next step. Okay, so I have the butter and both sugar replacements here. What you're going to do is blend this up into a creamy mixture and then add in the rest of the ingredients. But let's get started by putting the light butter in the bowl, along with the brown sugar replacement, and try not to send everything flying while you're doing it. So one of the hazards of me baking or cooking is sometimes my muscles don't work correctly, so things will go flying. So you just want to blend this until it's light and creamy. Kind of like, if you've done any other baking, a lot of times you'll cream the butter and sugar first because the sugar gets into the butter and creates little pockets. So you want it to be light and creamy. Now, one problem with brown sugar, whether it's regular or replacement, is it will sometimes clump together depending on the kind that you get. So you may have to move it around a little bit first while you're mixing. And you start off on low, and once things are pretty well combined and everything doesn't seem like it's going to jump out of the bowl, turn up the volume. Okay, so there you have nice creamy mixture. It's going to slide around if I move it too much because the light butter is not as solid as regular butter. All right, so now we're going to add in the salt, the powdered peanut butter, and the flour. And now we're going to mix this together on low again, especially because you have flour in here now. I will sometimes just stir it around a little bit with the mixer. Otherwise, you might have an explosion of flour and powdered peanut butter all over the place. So start off on low, just gently combining everything. Now it's not going to come together like a cohesive ball or anything like that, like a cookie dough. You want it to be crumbly and in little chunks. One tried to escape, can't let that happen. So I'm going to get this out of the way because we don't need this any longer, because we're going to add in the oats, but we're going to stir them in. So you can see this is very clumpy. It's not necessarily a cohesive mixture, and that's what you want. You don't want it to be one big giant ball of dough. And then we're going to mix in the oats. And try not to send them flying as well. Now you see how it is clumping together here. That is what you want. You want it to be able to clump together, but it doesn't have to be clumped right now because it's not, like I said, like a cookie dough. So I will break any big pieces apart just to help get that oatmeal incorporated. Okay, so that's pretty well combined here, and I will be back with the pan to show you the next step. Okay, so the next step, we have our pan, it's been sprayed. We have our batter, our dough, ready to go. What we're going to do is take out 2 cups of this dough and put that into a separate bowl. This is going to be the crumb topping. And if you saw my blueberry cream cheese crumb bar recipe, it's basically the same type of deal, where you take some of what's going to be the crust and make it the topping. All right, now the rest of this will go into the pan. And I think I need to take some of this out. I'm going to leave only a cup and a half. I'm going to alter the recipe on the blog. So we're going to save a cup and a half for the topping and use the rest to make the dough base. So just going to press that down. Now you remember perhaps in the blueberry cream cheese crumb bar recipe, I used a sling of parchment paper. You could also do that here, and maybe I should have, although when you're pressing dough down like this, the parchment paper does slide a bit and make it a little more difficult. And take off my glasses for a second, because as I've said before, those progressives can give everything a wavy texture, and then I can't tell if this is actually even or not. Our crust is all set, so what we're going to do is put this into a 350-degree oven for 12 minutes. Then we'll take it out and I will show you the next step from there. Okay, so the bottom crust is done. The pan is very hot, and also keep the oven on because this is going to be going back in once we finish up here. So this came out, the first thing we're going to do is put on the jam. And you're going to want to spread it around as evenly as you can. And for that, I'm going to use an offset spatula because this will keep my hand a little further away from the hot pan. I've done it with just the regular spatula, so you can do it, especially as this jam is going to start melting now a little bit. So it's very easy to spread around. And you just want to get it all over. So that's pretty good. I just want to get a little bit more out of the center and over to this edge. So that's good. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take the rest of this crumb mixture and you're going to break it up over the top of the jam, kind of like a streusel topping. And if you saw the blueberry cream cheese crumb bar video, this is a little less sticky than that was. Okay, now one thing that's different also, besides this not being as sticky as the blueberry cream cheese crumb bars dough, you're not going to press this down like you did then. Not really. You're going to just make sure it's spread around so every bit has coverage, and spread some of those oats around a little bit. And you can pat it a little bit in there, but you're not going to press it down like you did with the blueberry cream cheese crumb bars. And if you've made those, comment down below and let me know how you like them. All right, that looks perfect. So now this is going to go back into the oven for 30 minutes. Then it'll come out and I'll show you what it looks like when it comes out, but then I'll have to let it cool before we can cut it into bars. So I will see you in 30 minutes. Okay, so there you have the bars. You just want them kind of browned on the top. You don't want it to get too dark, and you're not looking for it to get too hard. You just want it brown, kind of like you see here. We're going to let this cool, and then I'll be back to cut them and show you what they look like. Okay, so this has been cooling for about an hour. It's still a little warm on the bottom, but I'm going to cut it into 12. I'm going to use my fish spatula because you know I don't use it for fish because I don't do seafood. But I'm using this instead of a knife because I always get told I'm going to scrape the pan and leave score marks, and it's usually the case. So I'm going to use this and cut them into 12 to try to get, if my hands will be steady enough. And let me take off my glasses because you know those progressives. All right, it might not be the progressives, it might just be me because that is very uneven. But it is what it is. I think this spatula did a pretty good job of cutting them. So let me grab out one of my favorites, is the corner, And the first one's always the toughest. But there, you see the jammy layer there. You can see the oats toasted up there. And once these set, it'll be a little firmer. But these are really, really good. Nice little treat. 3 bites, 3 blue points, 124 calories, and fat 4 grams, carbs 44.8 grams, and the protein is 4.6 grams. So I'm going to plate these up and probably have one, maybe 2. I have the bites for it. So there you have it, my peanut butter and jam bars. A little bit of nostalgia for just 3 bites or 3 blue points. Now if you like this recipe, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and hit that notification bell for the next time I upload a video. Share this video if there's anyone on a weight loss journey that you know of who might find this something they'd like to add to their menu. And comment below if you'd like to try this, if you have tried it, or tell me what kind of jam you would use. So I hope you enjoy these because I know I'm going to. Until next time, bye.